Welcome everyone to episode 4 of CG Real Estate Podcast. As always, excited to share things about real estate and other things that are going on in our industry and even in our lives. So today, very blessed to have a longtime friend, previous business partner, and I believe one of the number one agents in the Tampa Bay area, James Roy. What's up, buddy?
Hey man, how's it going?
Good. How you doing today? Absolutely, man. My pleasure. We get to talk so often, and we talk a lot about what's going on in real estate and all these things that I figured, man, why not get it out there to some folks, and hopefully we can add some value and talk about what we've gone through. I want people to get to know who you are and why I do business with you and why we've done business now for the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a journey for sure.
It's like it's coming. We started real high and then kind of hit a low there for a little while and then a big high again, and it's just been really awesome, man, to be a part of your journey. I remember when I was becoming a broker, it was I wanted to be a broker because of investing, and we got paired up, which hopefully we'll talk about. But
yeah, no, we're gonna get into it. I want to know how you got started in real estate, and just kind of let everybody know what encouraged you to pursue this career.
So. From Michigan, 2010, we decided to make the choice to move to Florida. I always wanted to get into real estate, always kind of had an entrepreneurial background or tendencies. I was an employee for a tool and die shop for 12 years. Started sweeping the floor, literally, ended up coming into the office, designing the dies, project manager. So for 12 years, I went from sweeping the floors to in the office, running the projects.
That's awesome.
And so during that time, I also got into a little bit of network marketing. So network marketing will always kind of fuel the entrepreneurial spirit in you, and had some success with that. Unfortunately, the company made some bad decisions, lost my business because of their egregious behavior. And I said, well, I can't do that again. Can't build a business that somebody else can take away from me. So real estate was kind of the next thing. Everybody wants to be a real estate investor, right? So a buddy of mine, probably when I was 22, we attended like a RIA event in Michigan. And so you started getting the little itch for it. Anyways,
lit that fire.
Yeah. So fast forward, we decided to move to Florida after 12 years of, no college education, 12 years of the same job. My wife became a nurse, licensed nurse there, got a job at South Bay in Sun City Center. And so what am I going to do? Let's get my real estate license. So online classes, got my real estate license in Michigan before we moved down, joined a Coldwell Banker. That's how I got in.
And that's how you started doing deals.
Yeah.
And learning the business.
Yeah.
So what year was that you started and actually got your license before you got the broker's license?
I got my license at the end of 2010,
Okay.
Started practicing January of 2011. So as soon as we got down here, I had to find a brokerage to hang it with. But I had no idea what I was doing. Zero idea.
And so as you started that transition and becoming a real estate agent, a little lost, I'm sure, not knowing what avenue you were going to pursue in the agent. Because as an agent, you have multiple ways of doing it, right? You can be a listing agent, you can be a buyer's agent, you can be an agent to investors, you can be a commercial. I mean, there's so many different things. How did you decide on residential? And what did you start off doing? Were you dealing with buyers? Were you dealing with listings? Like, what was the...
Yeah, so first year was really tough. First year, had a couple of buyers that I worked with, but and obviously this is all about value, right? So if I could go back and start over, it would have been different. It would have been finding a mentor to partner with, either joining a team, finding an investor to partner with earlier in my career, whatever the case is. Because when you start, you have no idea what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I knew nothing. And so, I spent a lot of time tweaking my website, just menial stuff that didn't mean anything in terms of, trying to generate leads, but didn't have the capital to invest in marketing, so didn't have the deals coming in to invest. So it was like, okay, well, how can I try to generate leads organically? And it was all right, let's get on Facebook. Let's try to do Facebook groups. Let's try to, whatever, open houses, whatever you could do to try to talk to people. I had no sphere of influence here. Didn't know anybody.
Because you're brand new to the area.
Yeah, brand new to the area, brand new agent. And so it was tough to get going. And I honestly, I fell into residential because I didn't know any different. And I fell into trying to get buyers and sellers because I didn't know any different. Nobody actually sat me down and said, hey, let's pick a niche, whether it's investing or whether it's luxury or whether it's, short, like right then, 2011, short sales were huge. So it just kind of by default.
Well, and that's, I'm sure you're not the only one that has gone through that, or that might even be going through that right now. And, there is power in mentorship because you are now being advised by somebody that has probably either gone through those same struggles of not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do, maybe not having the funds, and can give you some guidance and maybe even partner with you to get your career started. So that's really cool that you said. I know that you've mentored, agents in the past, and when we were, doing a lot of stuff together, you were helping new agents as they were coming in figure out, hey, what do you foresee being the path that you want to take? But here are all the options. I think just agents understanding the full scope of what they can do as a licensed agent is huge because they're not getting that from anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right. So that's cool that you did that, and then you kind of stumbled into residential, and then what led you to want to become a broker?
So wanting to become a broker kind of morphed from the investment side. So it was about 3 years later. I think it was 2014. And I wanted to get more into wholesaling. And I'm like, well, can I wholesale if I have a broker? How does that work? How do I do the transaction? Do I still owe them a percentage? Like all these questions. And it's like, well, if I just get my broker's license, open up my own brokerage, I don't have to worry about this. Then it's all my own deals. And so that kind of drove me to get the license. And then shortly after that, it was, hey, thanks for everything, Miss Broker. I'm gonna take off. And then the proposition came of, well, we're looking to open up a brokerage in Tampa, on West Shore. And we have this potential owner, operator, investor that is looking to partner with us. Do you want to meet him?
Oh.
And that's how we met.
Yeah. And so at that point in my career, I was doing a lot of flips and really heavily focused on flips and doing 60, 70 a year. And I needed access to more deals. So in my mind, I was like, well, let me partner with a brokerage where I can start training agents to be investor agents to go out and source the deals for me and maybe even other investors within our network. A little bit different than what we were doing on the wholesale level. This was more utilizing the MLS and creating strategies of effective negotiations and really educating agents on how to become investor agents, which, guys, if you're listening to this now, we're in a transition period within our market. We're going to see a lot of opportunities for investors on the horizon. So I would encourage you, if you're not working with investors right now, or you want to learn how to work with investors, reach out to us. I mean, that the tools that we've been able to put together over the years and the ability to negotiate and all these different things that we implement on a daily basis, we're more than happy to share with you because we believe in building the community, right? And we've talked about this a lot, James, and creating a lot of other members as part of our external team. So for me as an investor and currently still doing deals and all that, I want to partner with you and add value to your life because as things change, as maybe not so many buyers are in the market or not so many listings are available, well, what other things can you do, right? You want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, so I'll just backtrack a little bit. In 2020, when everything shut down, we did a lot of online stuff. Bill Risser, he's with Fidelity, or I think he was with Fidelity National Title at that time. One of the, he runs a podcast, Real Estate Sessions, hundreds and hundreds. Brad Inman's been like he's got a pretty big podcast. And so him and I teamed up to do some trainings for GTR at that time because everything was online. And I created a training called, or something about investors. So you need to be working with investors.
Yeah.
And so I had a 30 to 40 minute presentation on if you're not working with investors, you're missing a large chunk of business because you can work with an investor who does 6 or 7 deals a year, or a homeowner or a residential person that does one deal every 6 to 7 years.
Yeah.
So where would you rather focus your attention? And so it was very eye-opening to a lot of people, mainly because I had such experience with working with investors or managing a team of 20, working with an in-house investor, which for an agent is huge.
Yeah.
We were just talking right before this. I get phone calls all the day from investors just pounding the phones, calling agents, saying, "Hey, I need an agent to work for me." And most of these guys just want you to send out 100 lowball offers to try to get a deal for them.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little bit different, where we have a personal connection. We're working together daily. It's not some Joe Schmo investor that I don't know. And you're a cash buyer that wants to close today. Here's my requirements. Find me the deal, and you close it.
Yeah.
And so it's a whole different animal when you can find good investors that want to close, that aren't wholesalers just trying to lock up a deal and flip it and maybe not close or not, or maybe close or not. And so it's if you're not working with investors, you need to figure that game out, because
and it's all about a vetting process, right? And that's the one thing that we can show you is how to vet to make sure that you're dealing with a legitimate investor.
Oh, yeah.
So that you can start to grow your investor buyers. But do it with guys that are serious, because there are a lot of phonies out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But actual investors that are buying deals and that know their strategy. So then you have to go and just fill that order for them. And I think another thing as well, where we can add value, is the being able to teach you how to negotiate and help educate sellers and listing agents. If you're on the buyer side for an investor, or if you're even listing for an investor, how to educate your investor on this is why the property needs to sell for this price, and helping them understand. We've got a construction background. We provide scopes of work. We really try to educate the seller as much as possible to ultimately be able to facilitate a transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we know, properties listed high, it's not going to move. Properties listed too low, it's going to fly, right? So it's where do we find that balance? What's really educating ourselves? And as a real estate agent, education is what you really need to be focusing on, because that's going to help build your business. Because now you're going to be able to add value to the investor, to the buyer, to the seller, to other agents within your network, and ultimately be able to do more deals together. And so it really expands it and opens up your horizons as a real estate agent. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really cool that you started that course. And hopefully, people that are listening, if they're interested, can reach out to you. We're going to put your information and make your information available for that as well. But one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about, as far as the market and what you're seeing now, what do you think the next 3 years looks like in the Tampa Bay area? Because we can only speak of the market we're in, right?
Yeah. Next three years is tough to predict at this moment. I think a lot of it has to do with, well, obviously our inventory issues, the interest rate issues. But I was just seeing, I think this morning that year over year, Tampa is one of the top markets with less pending sales. Also property taxes. I just saw this morning in the Tampa Bay area, 60% of homes in the Tampa Bay area, their property taxes have gone up since 2019.
Wow, that's huge.
So, we have rising property taxes. We have rising interest rates still, which we thought they were going down. Now they're kind of going back up. That's a problem. Inventory is, in the next 3 years, that's a good question.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
No, it's and just to start pondering and start to think about, because we have to be in what we do and in our real estate landscape, we're kind of the ones that have to navigate through these messy waters in certain times, right? So a strategy that might have worked 2 years ago, now could be dead in the water.
Yeah.
So what do we need to learn to do? Pivot.
Yeah.
Pivot and expand our network and talk to other folks who are actually doing real estate, right? We just had 2 massive hurricanes. If they came in, that one hurricane alone is going to change the landscape of our West Coast beaches over the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we're seeing FEMA's not allowing a lot of these single-story older homes to be rebuilt.
Gotta go up.
Folks didn't have flood insurance, so what do they got to do? Sell for land value. What is that going to create? Opportunities for investors that come in, level houses, build up. So no longer will there be 12, 13, 1,400 square foot homes. They're 4,000 and 5,000 square foot homes that are $3 and $4 million. So affordability, land prices going up. I mean, we're going to see that expand through the whole west coast of Florida, and especially in our immediate areas by the beach. But ultimately, you're going to see a rejuvenation. Properties that can withstand, but what does that do to the prices? It pushes them up.
Mm-hmm.
But by knowing that, now, if I'm an agent that's focused in Tampa only, well, maybe I'm going to try to go towards the beach area or go to meetings and try to find investors who are buying and then start sourcing properties over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about changing your mentality and being able to pivot depending on the situation, because we understand markets are always changing.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be stuck in just one strategy always, because that it can prove to be beneficial, but also can prove to be very detrimental to your growth in your career.
Yes. If I was going to look at potentially one strategy as an agent, it would be on the investor side. It would be working with investors, because there's always deals happening. It doesn't matter. I mean, from 2011 or 2008, 9, 10, 11, where all the short sales were happening, till from then till now, there's still deals happening. And so no matter what the season is, there's always opportunity for investors, and to, like you said, go to RIAs, meet investors, meet actual people who are buying and selling real estate as investors, create a relationship with them, figure out what their buy box is, start working with them, create that relationship like we've created. I need 6 more of you. I really do. I need 6 more of you.
Yeah.
And that'd be great. But if you can't put, if I was going to put all my eggs in one basket, it would be in the investment side. Not only to work with investors, because I know they buy more deals than your average Joe, but also to learn it myself, to then build wealth myself. So agents who don't understand investing, it blows my mind that you don't understand this aspect of our industry to help yourself build wealth. Right. Like, you should be, your best customer would be yourself. If you understood investments and you were working on whatever, picking up 4 doors a year, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You should know the investment side just for that alone, and then to be able to help other investors with your knowledge. So getting into real estate, while I defaulted as an agent, it was more of the investment side. That's really where my passion was.
Investor, right? And you get to come alongside and add value to investors, and what are they going to do in return? Help you to understand strategy and why they're buying what they're buying and how they're raising capital, and it then opens up for you the opportunity to learn so much more.
Yeah.
With CG Real Estate Academy, I've had a lot of agents coming through the course saying, well, now I'm ready to take that next step. 2020, 2021, 22, we made a lot of money, but now it's drying up. What am I going to do? Well, I learned, I saw, but I really don't understand it quite well, the strategy and how to, leverage and all these things. But if I'm going through your course, I know you're going to show me that. Now I come out on the other side, still being able to be an agent, but also looking for deals for myself as an investor.
And now you have an investor, now you have this new aspect of business that you can go to investors and work with them.
Because now you understand the lingo, right? Now you understand what they're looking for. Now you can relate better, build a better rapport with those investors, and now your business is really starting to expand. James, talk a little bit about your brokerage that you have currently and kind of what you do and how that all works, and just like an overview of your brokerage.
Yeah, so really small. We've done the 20-25 agents before. Mm-hmm. Together, that's a lot. It's a lot of...
doesn't leave a lot of time for investing
when
you're doing that.
Yeah, it's a lot. And so currently have 3 or 4 agents. One's a commercial guy. One's a short-term rental guy. A couple that don't do a whole lot of stuff. But for my brokerage, it's James Roy Real Estate. And, my passion is the investment side. And so property management, working with investors that way. Just did a wholesale deal last month that was a double close. That was fantastic. So, like, my business per se is more generally just for myself. Not to say that I wouldn't take on agents who, if they show fire and they're go-getters, I'd probably take them on.
Nice.
If it's going to be a part-timer who, has a full-time job, probably not.
But the amazing thing is that you graduated to that opportunity and that headspace and that vision that I know you had even back in 2012 or 2010 when you first got your license, right? You went through, you saw the challenges, You did the work, you've learned so much throughout the process, and now you're actually seeing your vision to reality.
Mm-hmm.
You're implementing, you are the investor, you're learning new strategies, you're keeping up with market trends, you're able to relate and understand the investment landscape in our market because you educated yourself.
Yeah, and that's huge.
Yeah.
If you're an agent with your head in the sand and you're not, every day you should be growing, whether it's through podcasts like this, through joining mentorships like yours, through going to RIA groups, through whatever your flavor is. There's got to be something.
Absolutely.
Because if you just go to your brokerage meetings, I can tell you're not learning a lot.
And if you don't see anything you like, choose a different career.
Yeah. I mean,
because you got to have a passion for this. It's not easy. I mean, I hear all the time getting calls from new agents. So excited at first. Like, I'm gonna be rich. Okay. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know yet, but I know I just got my license, so where's the money? They're expecting it to just fall from the sky. That's not what it is. You gotta put your time in, right?
Yeah. One thing I'd like to add to that too is while we're promoting education, also what I try to tell everybody, even like in 2020 I pivoted, we opened up the cabinet painting company. Mm-hmm. If you need cabinets painted, the cabinet painting company in Plant City, fantastic. My brother-in-law now owns it.
Quick plug.
Yep. But so we pivoted in 2020 because of what happened. And I still stayed in real estate, still had my brokerage, but we opened up the cabinet painting company. And one of the main things I told my brother-in-law was, because he's a teacher, so he has no business background at all. And the first thing I told him was, you have to understand that we are a marketing company first. Every business, I feel, is a marketing company first. I don't care what your back-end product is, whether it's real estate, painting, flooring, whatever it is, you are a marketing company first, because if you don't have any leads, you don't have a business. So I don't care what business you're in. And so I always throw out this analogy to him. If we can spend $1 to make $2, how many dollars do we spend? And he's like, all of them. I go, yeah, exactly. So if your marketing is working, and the same thing with real estate, same thing, whatever it is, you have to understand that you have to be marketing in some form, whether it's face-to-face, networking, growing your sphere of influence, however that happens, or God forbid you buy Zillow leads or whatever it is. If it works, it works. But you have to keep track of your KPIs. You have to keep track of your numbers, make sure it works. But understand that any business marketing is so key. And if you don't tackle marketing and understand lead generation, you have nothing. Yeah. So education and lead gen,
that's it, brother. That's it. And one of the things, the new campaigns that we're getting ready to start is, and this is for any brokers out there who have agents and want to educate their agents on dealing more with investors, want to educate yourselves on dealing with investors. So we're going to be putting together a 30-minute presentation in class where we can come out to your brokerage and speak a little bit about what investors are looking for, the type of leveraging, what assets, what asset classes are looking for right now, and how to plug in and understand the investor mentality a little bit more so you can diversify your business. It adds value to the broker because now they can have new opportunities with their agents. It adds value to the agents because now they understand and they can spread their network out a little bit more. So we'll give these tools away in order to help and then also educate us to what we're looking for as well, right? When it comes to deals and the network of people that we have. So we'll be putting some of that information out there. Be on the lookout. We're going to be sending some emails out and just starting to set appointments. So if you want us to come out, I know James is definitely available to speak to brokers on a broker-to-broker level. I mean, we're not here to compete. We're here to build each other up. I hate that agents are, well, I'm not going to deal with that brokerage, and I don't like, whoa. We're all here to help each other. Let's add value. I might know something as an investor that another investor doesn't, or he might know something, so I'm always open, and I love synergy with other investors and people that do what I do, because there might be something that I can enlighten them to, and vice versa, they can enlighten me to. And now we're growing together. We're not competing.
Yeah, there's room at the top for everybody.
Right?
Like to have the mentality, that scarcity mentality of, I got to hold it all in. I can't help anybody. That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah. So, James, tell us a little bit about your background. I know you've got a family. Talk a little bit about that. I want the folks to get to know who James Roy is as well. I know you're this stud investor, real estate agent, broker, but what about the personal side of James?
So married 18 years. Very young.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 26. I was 26. She was 22. So married 18 years. We have an 18-year-old also. So 3 kids, 3 boys, 18, 16, 11. A lot of sports, a lot of travel, soccer. I've coached my kids since they were 4. So I've been a coach in some form or fashion for the last, I don't even know, 10, 11 years, something like that. So
that takes a lot of time, right?
A lot of time. My middle one, who's 16 now, actually just quit soccer, which was crazy. He's been playing for 8, 9 years, and he's got a girlfriend now. He's got his license. Things have changed. He wants to work more on the weekends, and so he quit, which is weird for us to only have one kid left in sports. But we live out in Fishhawk. If you're from the Tampa area, you've heard of Fishhawk. Beautiful area, A-rated school system, 30 miles of jogging trails, 6 pools. Like it's a fantastic spot to live for kids and us. But 2011 we moved down here. My wife's family all moved before us, so she kind of drug us down here, which I was okay with because it was January in Michigan and I was shoveling snow, and I'm like, yep.
And then you go back often, and I'm sure you don't miss that snow.
We do, yeah. No, we're actually looking to plan a trip right now in January to go back, but it's like you don't know if snow's going to be there.
Yeah,
last year Christmas we were trying to go back and there was no snow, and I'm like, we're not going up there if there's no snow. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Kids love to play hockey, so the ponds need to be frozen. We need to be able to do go skiing and all that stuff. And you don't know anymore. It used to be pretty spot on. It was going to be cold and frozen, and now it's like,
yeah.
So, so wife, 3 kids, got a dog, Kona. She's amazing. And just been in real estate. My wife's a nurse. She works 1 day a week. We homeschool our kids. That's a big thing for us. We've done that for a long time. My wife is a rock star. She takes care of everything. Shout out to my wife. She just ran an ultra marathon last weekend.
What?
It was a 50K, 30K. It was 30 miles.
Wow.
Through the mountains. Her and her sister went up to Georgia. They flew up, got an Airbnb.
What an accomplishment. That's amazing.
Her training, like one day in her training, she was running 22 miles here in the heat. And, nothing prepares you for...
I can't get through a mile.
Dude.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's a rock star. She really pushes our boys too to be great, which is fantastic because I fall short on that. I'm like, yeah, they're fine. She's like, no, their workout needs to be better. Make it harder. This and that. So
she's got that discipline though. In order to be a runner, I mean, those are some of the most disciplined individuals that I've ever met.
She is the most disciplined person I've probably ever met. She's a rock star. She keeps us all in line. Thank God, because if
I know you need it,
because she didn't keep me in line, I'd probably be dead. Let's just be honest.
Talk to us a little bit about how you've been able to balance family life, career, all of these different things. I mean, just from hearing your schedule, it feels like you got a lot. How have you been able to balance that?
I'm usually up at 4 to 4:30. I go to bed probably around 10 at the latest. This week, yesterday my wife was like, so you're going to go to bed at 10:30 and get up at 4 again? And I'm like, because I'm like just a zombie yesterday. And so a lot of hours, man. I don't sleep a lot, which isn't balance, but it's how I do it. The weekends I'll try to get a day to sleep in. I don't think you can catch up per se, but I try to.
Yeah.
But it's time management, making sure that I'm time blocking. I'm getting, I do Andy Frisilla has a 5 most important tasks thing that he talks about in 75 Hard or wherever he talks about it. But so I have my master list of things that need to be done, and it's 5 a day. What's my most important 5 things to get done today? And I knock them out. And it might only be 2 because maybe those 2 things are going to take me 6 hours, but I never try to put too much on the list just because at the end of the day, you don't want to feel like you didn't accomplish enough.
Yeah.
And so I'll have the master list, and it's okay. And I do it in my iNotes or whatever. And so I have it on my computer and my phone or whatever, and I can pull it up and I have my master list there, and I'll move, every night I try to do it so I'm prepared for the morning. And I get up and I, cold plunge, work out, cold plunge, all that fun stuff.
That cold plunge, man, that's something else, dude. I know I've got to get with you to get my cold plunge in. I know I've tried it and it's amazing. I'm trying to wrap my mind around doing it every day, in the morning.
So sidebar, I run a company called Cold Plunge. It's www.coldplunge.ltd. It's Cold Plunge Ltd. is the name of the company. And so I got big into cold plunging, and I'm like, you know what? I want to sell these.
Yeah.
So it's, again, entrepreneurial.
Why not?
We've done really
well. Got a passion for it.
We've done really well. We partnered with, and I want to shout out this. It's called Operation Healing Forces. It's a veteran-driven charity organization. They work with special operation forces community only, but even spouses or kids or whatever, the whole community. And they provide things for that veteran community that they need in terms of healing, whatever. So cold plunges is one of them, saunas, whatever it is. Sometimes it's surgery, different things that they need. And if it's something out of their budget, they'll partner with other charity organizations around. But cold plunges is one of their things. And they probably get 1 or 2 from us a month. Wow. Just themselves for our veteran community, and we give them a great discount because we want to support their goal. So yes. Shout out to the veterans, shout out to OHF, great charity organization.
Yes, thank you veterans for what you do for us.
Yes,
we lift that up, and we've got several of veterans within our organization that are showing us, what true leadership is. Mm-hmm. These guys are out there, they're on the front lines, or they've been on the front lines, and they deserve to be treated correctly when they get back. And I love organizations like that that are actively doing and making a change to give back to these amazing human beings that have, and a lot of times, pay the ultimate sacrifice, right? To protect us, to give us the ability to sit here, me and you right now.
Yeah.
And have a podcast. I mean, if it's not for them, we're not here, right? No, that's great. That's great. I love how you've been able to diversify in things that you're passionate about. Mm-hmm. Over the years, I've seen where when you latch onto something, you're like, I'm going to run it till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
But it's passion that I see behind it. And I just believe that anything we get involved with, we need to have passion for it, because otherwise it's going to fizzle, and it'll be another thing that we just wasted a whole bunch of not only resources on, but time. Mm-hmm. And I think time is one of our most valuable resources. So for anybody out there who's looking to get involved with any new business, just make sure this is something that you can see through, whether it's good
when the times
get or it's bad. And that correlates tremendously to being in real estate. Mm-hmm. Whether you're on the investor side or you're on the agent side, you're going to have good times and bad times, lows, highs, all the different things and everything in between, but you got to be ready for it. And if you're passionate about what you're doing and you truly see the vision, then that's going to allow you to push through that barrier of uncertainty, that barrier of, I know as an investor, there's how many times I'm done with this. There's no way I'm doing this anymore. I'm going to quit. But I got to push through that because I don't see myself doing anything else but what I'm doing, right? And I'm sure you've been there. Man, I'm done. I'm done with real estate. I'm moving on to something else.
Oh, you'll get some deals that will make you.
Oh, but we push through, and not only we've learned to do it because of the challenges we faced, but our faith also helps us to push through with that, right? And so, James, is there any one last piece of advice that you would give anybody watching right now that's either thinking about getting into real estate, thinking about growing their current, real estate career, or that's looking to jump and start to scale, what they've got going on?
So for somebody looking to get into it, you just have to do it. There's no way around it. A lot of people have great ideas that never take action. And you have to be a doer. You have to be, it's going to happen no matter whatever cost, and jump in head first, feet first, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But also have a plan. You have to have a plan. What do you want? If you have a clear vision, without a vision, the people will perish, right? So you have to have a clear vision. What do I want? Do I want to be an investor? Do I want to have 100 doors? What do you want?
Yeah.
Figure out exactly what you want, and then create your plan to execute. And you have to execute. What does the saying go? A plan without execution is like a dream. If you want to just have a dream, just have a dream.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. And that execution comes with a lot of sacrifice in certain instances, right?
It is. And Gary Vee is huge on talking about if you have a dream from 9 to 11 p.m. at night, what are you doing? You sitting there watching TV, or you're executing your dream? Find the time. You have to find the time. You get up at 4 o'clock. Find the time. Like, there's all these excuses. Oh, I don't have enough time. Well, you work 8 hours a day. You spend 3 hours with your family. You sleep 7 hours. What are you doing with the other 3 or 4 hours? Like, you have time. It's just about prioritizing your time and what's important to you.
I was about to say that, priorities. Yeah.
What's important to you. And so for people that are new, it's making the plan and jumping all in. People who are already in and want to scale, find somebody who's where you're at. If you're looking to be, if you've done 1 deal or 3 deals and you're trying to do 5 a year, find somebody who has. Partner with somebody who has. If you're trying to scale in a multifamily, find somebody who's done it. Work your tail off. Work for free for them. Yeah. Intern. Learn. Whatever you have to do to get the knowledge and the experience and be around it, submerge yourself in it, you have to do it. Or nothing happens for you. So
I love it, man. No, that is all good stuff. Well, James, I want to thank you, buddy. Thank you for coming on, man. I get so much out of our conversations, right? And our relationship and what we've been able to do and just, how we bounce things off of each other. And that's why I wanted to have you on. I want everybody out there as well to know that you're a valuable asset in our market. So if anybody has any questions about real estate or about becoming a broker or any of that, I know that you're just a phone call away. So we're going to share your information. So if anybody does want to reach out about that, future success is always what I pray for you and your family for. And I know that you're going to just continue to accomplish some great things, brother.
Appreciate that, man.
Keep it going. Stay focused. Stay motivated. And continue to grow relationships. And I know that for folks out there, one of the most valuable assets that we have is relationships. Mm-hmm. Grow that external team, whether it's investors, whether it's agents, whatever it is that you're in need of. Start to meet people. Get out there. Grow those relationships. And 10 years from now, you'll be sitting there with someone saying, man, I can't believe it's been 10 years and we've gone through all of this and we've done that. It all started from getting to know each other, creating a relationship, and then continuing to feed that relationship and growing together. Right?
90% of it's just showing up.
That's it.
Just show up.
Show up.
Thanks, man.
All right, brother. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning into today's episode of CG Real Estate Podcast. Next week, we've got another great guest, and we're going to be talking about lending opportunities, private money, and just everything that entails. So thank you for tuning in today, and we'll catch you on the next episode.